Hello, it's How to Block again. Got another video for you. It's kind of like another washing machine video. You know, I did one before. I'll leave a link up here, perhaps, or certainly down in the description, where the thing would my washing machine would suddenly stop. It would empty, it would fill, but the drum wouldn't turn. Well, the video I'm about to do now is another cause for that, which I'll show you now. For the first cause, the first time, it was a broken lead, which is not the case this time. Now, the symptoms are exactly the same. It would fill up, it would empty, but the drum doesn't want to turn. Now, what happened with this one? The difference is it made a strange sort of like crackling or fizzing, buzzing noise. What I thought, it's going to be the motor, and it was. So what happened was it show the motor here, camera person. So what happened was I took the motor off, right, and I looked at the brushes straight away, because this is something that I know about, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, oh dear, look at that. Now, that's one of them. The other one, stay there, camera person.
Yeah.
The other one is here. Look, here. Now, I thought I could just replace a spring, just the actual brush itself, but that wasn't the case. You have to replace this whole sort of cartridge thing. I did take it apart to try and do that, but so your machine might be different. I wanted to say, just before I start doing this, is that I'm showing you how I fix my machine. I'm not an expert. This is not a tutorial. This is just how I've done it, and I hope you find it sort of entertaining or with a bit of information. So don't take it as like the perfect way to do it, because I know it's not. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to change these carbon brusher cartridges. Now this thing here just pulls off here. I'll show you how the difference between a new one, stay there, camera person, new one and an old one. A new one and an old one. Now that's the new one, that's the old one. Look, see the difference? Both the same. Now when you go shopping for these, you want to look at the motor, who makes the motor. This one is Celini or Celini. Now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not, some of you in the know might think, that's not a good make. Well, it is, because this machine I bought in 2017? No. 2008. It's 6 years old, 6 years old, and it's been used every single day, if not once, not twice a day. So it's a very good little machine, this. It's the simplest machine. You know, if you look in here, it's simple. By the way, if you're wondering why these machines are heavy, there's a big lump of concrete in all these front loading machines like this, look. So that's why they're so heavy. Right, going on to this thing, I'll stop rattling on. So we're going to change these brushes. So what this particular case, or my particular case, we're just going to pull that connector off of there like that. You see? Okay. So then we're left with the thing. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to bend that connector over like this to put it back on. Okay, so that's one thing I've got to do. That was easy, wasn't it? So I'm going to put this on. Right, so we're going to put this one back on there like this. So we click it back on like that. Now, look at this. Look at the armature here. Look, people. Now, this is not so good. I know what I should do. I should take this thing apart, like I showed you in my first video. Clean it and put it back on again, but I'm not going to do that because I can't be bothered. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a quick whiz. This is a piece of what do you call it? Silicone cardboard paper, and I'm just going to go like this. Try and clean it up a little bit. Because I know from past experience that it will work without me going hell for level or resurfacing the edges of the copper segments. So I'm just going to do that. Then after that, look, it comes off there, look like that. Might do another one, just for good measure. Right, I mean, if you clean this up, it stops the carbon brushes sparking, you know, because that's what the crackling noise is. It's the sparks between the tip of the brush and the armature. So that's good enough. Right, so that's a little bit better, isn't it? Right, that's good enough. Right, stand there, camera person. So what I'm going to do now is going to get some of this. I'll show you what it is. Look, It's contact cleaner, okay? It doesn't have to be that mark, but you know, but you know, there it is. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to spray here to get rid of any of the residual dust. Like that. Now I'm going to give it a wipe. Like that. Now I should take it apart to do all this business, but I know that it'll be all right. So that's all I'll do, and I know that'll probably work pretty well. I mean, you could get the toothbrush and go along the segments there. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Obviously, you don't have the electric going with this. Turn it on, unplug it all everywhere. God's sake, yeah. Not because. Anyway, that'll do. I know that'll work. Now you're thinking, well, should I replace the whole motor? Well, I've looked at this. Look at it this way. Look at the thing. I would check the bearings. There's one here and one here. Now, if you don't get any play in the bearings, meaning you can't move it up and down, left to right, it's all right. There's no notchiness at all, so the bearings are okay. You don't need to change the whole thing. You know, it works okay. So I'll put these cartridges screwed back in. Like this. Let me put my glasses on.
It's the old one, by the way.
Oh, that's the old one?
Yeah, that's the old one.
Oh yeah, sure it is, yeah. No glasses. Now you've got to keep the brush back. I've got to keep the brush back with this, because otherwise you can't fit it on. Right, I'm making a note that these are handed, alright, so I don't want to put them down the wrong way. So this follows the contour of the actual rotor. So I found out that just offer it up, and I found out that way is the best way, because if you do it that way round, it's not right. You know, it's obvious which way around it goes. So be careful if you're going to do this. Then they're handed. Some of them not handed. I've noticed that some machines are not handed. So, but even better still are the machines where you can actually get out the carbon brush rather than the whole assembly, or the whole holder assembly, because then there's no problem at all with that. Anyway, I'm going to tighten this up, and don't have to give it too much welly. Just nip it up so it doesn't come loose. And right. So we'll just test that. This is a Torx screw I'm using on mine. You can find that these motors are carbon brushes. You'll have to also do some research on, and just because it's you know the name of the motor, have a look, see if you can see a model number or something. Or well, actually physically, what I did was I did Celni, and Celni don't do just one motor, they do lots, and you have to kind of match up what it looks like on the screen when you order online. Right, so that gets plugged into there. So this one gets plugged into there. Oops. Wait a second. This cable's been changed before. Look, this thing here, I think. Right, that'll do. Okay. Now we'll flip them over. We'll do the other side. Again, handed. So, handed. But I've got to make sure that these are done up quite a lot more than finger tight, because this thing vibrates, and all I vibrate the screws off. Okay, so that's that. Then I'm going to put that on there like that. Okay. Right, I'm just going to turn the camera off now and tidy these wires up so they don't break. Right, I just want to see whether this thing actually works before I put it all back together again. In other words, put the belt on and whatnot. So making sure there's not a problem with how I've put this together and it actually works. Anyway, so I'm just going to switch the power on. All we're looking for here is we just want to see whether the motor actually turns or not, or whether I've made a mess of it. So, here we go. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Right, I'm going to unplug again. Now, getting this belt on is going to be it's always a problem, this belt. I've never found a really slick way of doing it, but anyway, I'm going to cut the camera now and put this drive belt back on. Drum drive. Finally finished the following day. I just ran out of steam for yesterday. The job should have taken an hour. It took me more than that because I was really struggling to get that belt put back on, because in this particular machine you can't remove the back cover, so it's not impossible. The last two times I've done it went quickly, but this time it took me kept falling off. And anyway, right, so we got the new carbon brushes in, and I'll just give it a spin for you. The machine's empty now. It is actually empty, but it goes through this. There we go. So that's what that brushes cost me, like 12 euros or something. Anyway, I hope that was entertaining. As I say, this is not it's not I'm not an expert in fixing these things. I'm just showing you how I've fixed it. So that's about it. I've got cooking up here, I've got quick tips here, and I've got more DIYs. And don't forget to check out my other washing machine video, which is quite popular. It's nothing to do with the carbon brushes that time. It's to do with broken wires next to the motor, so you may want to have a look at that. Anyway, until next time.